Kat Timpf in for Greg on this special edition of Gutfeld. Let's kick things off with some jokes. Jeffrey Epstein's Amazon purchase history was revealed, and it listed Twinkies, schoolgirl uniforms, prostate massagers, and vaginal tightening pills, otherwise known as the Greg Gutfeld Christmas grab bag. Off to a strong start there. According to Forbes, more than 50 people became billionaires this past year, mostly from the lucrative fields of tech, AI, and Somali daycares in Minnesota. Speaking of, federal prosecutors said the fraud in Minnesota could be as high as $9 billion, or as one woman calls it, one stock pick. After reviewing emergency room reports, the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission has released official data of what Americans got stuck inside their bodies last year. One patient had a doorknob in his anus, so doctors ordered him to avoid Jehovah's Witnesses. Another guy had a thermometer in his penis. Doctors told him to stop asking women if they want him to take their temperatures. And someone else had nails in his rectum. Doctors report he farted in a lumber yard and accidentally made 4 picnic tables. According to a new poll, most Americans aren't making year-end charitable donations amid economic fears. This is bad news for one man who counts on the help of others. According to a new study, having a bigger butt could be a sign that you have ADHD. So, in case you're wondering, I do have ADHD. And finally, according to the New York Post, the man who claims he has the world's smallest penis said it's really impacting his dating life. Well, at least he has the #1 late night show. Thank you. So, there are a few new updates in the Minnesota fraud scheme. FBI Director Kash Patel said Sunday that he's sending even more resources to the state to further investigate and, quote, dismantle large-scale fraud schemes exploiting federal programs. For those who have been in a food coma during the holidays, a lot of fraud has already been uncovered, with people who have been caught lying about feeding kids or running daycare programs so they can steal hundreds of millions of dollars in government funds. Meanwhile, actual poor kids are forced to work in Greg's wallet factory. In one case alone, there were 78 indictments and 57 convictions. But it also seems like it could only be the beginning. Less than a week ago, a YouTuber named Nick Shirley made a video at a so-called daycare center. Watch.
So this is Quality Learning Center. I meant to say Quality Learning Center. All the windows are blacked out. I would like to check a child in the daycare. Why? I would like to see if I could bring little Joey, my son little Joey here. Is there paperwork or can I check out the daycare?
And you got $2.66 million this year in funding and $2.5 million last year. We're just wondering where the kids are.
Hello, we'd like to ask where the money's going.
The center was receiving millions of dollars to care for 99 kids. Now they have 99 problems, and a kid ain't one of them. Yep. That operation looked faker than when Greg asks you how you're doing. And some are also reporting that some of the money may have gone to the terror group Al-Shabaab, where they ask kids, what do you want to be when you blow up? And what of the local politicians like Ilhan Omar? Well, according to the New York Post, she was closely connected to at least 2 people who were charged in the fraud. And some are questioning how her net worth skyrocketed from basically nothing to $30 million in just 1 year, all as this scheme was going on in her district. She also introduced the Meals Act in 2020, which scaled back the oversight of government meal programs for kids during the pandemic, which critics claim made it easy for scammers to say they were feeding kids while pocketing the cash for themselves. You could just claim there was a kid, which is how women try to wrangle money from Joe Mackey. So we'll have to see how it all plays out, but even now, there's blame to place on politicians and media and everyone else who does what I'm about to point out. Weaponizes baseless, widespread accusations that the opposite political party doesn't care about kids to shut down dissent. Sadly, both parties have done this, and why? Because it works. It's no coincidence that the businesses that were a part of this scandal were daycares and meal services devoted to feeding starving kids. No one questioned them, because if they did, they'd be smeared as not caring about children. Politicians, media, and other grifters use this often. You're against US-led regime change in Venezuela? Well, you must not care about kids dying of overdoses. You're against draconian gun control laws? Well, you just don't care when kids get shot. It works remarkably well at shutting down debate and investigation, at least for a time. Sadly, this stuff being uncovered in Minnesota so relatively soon is the exception, not the rule, especially when it comes to anything that's for the kids or that the "how could you, won't you think of the children" argument has touched. One thing we can and should do is to not let this argument being so common in political discussions make us forget it's actually not common in reality. We all know that caring about kids is something that unites us all, except for the rare, truly evil, stone-cold psychopathic person.
Period.
Let's welcome tonight's guests. We didn't have any ladies on today's panel because they wouldn't be able to keep their hands off him. Comedian Joe Mackey. This former cop knows how to read Miranda rights backwards. Fox News contributor Paul Morrow. He'll be standing outside in Times Square on New Year's Eve and every day. Founder of StudioTST.com, comedian Michael Loftus. And his loudest applause comes from women post-menopause. Former NWA world champion and host of the Planet Tyrus podcast, Tyrus. All right, Paul. So this is something that drives me crazy, and it's something that people use to attack conservatives and libertarians very often when they have questions about or opposed to widespread government programs. If you don't support it, it's, oh, you don't care about kids. Oh, you want people to starve. Oh, you don't care if people die. It's like, well, no, maybe I just don't trust that the government is either able to handle this or is going to do this without corruption.
Yeah, first of all, one of the things I find so interesting about this story is the reporting on the story. Because if you look at who's breaking this kid, Nick Shirley, looks like the kind, look at this kid, he's the kind of kid you'd see in the park with a joint on a skateboard,
Yeah.
right? And he's eating the lunch of all of the mainstream media who do exactly what you're talking about, which is to say, oh, there's nothing to see here. Oh, you're calling us out on this stuff? You are racist and you hate kids.
Yeah.
No, we're not saying that. And you know what? A lot of Somalis who came, sure, they're going to be refugees. They have a legitimate background. You're not saying everybody. But when $9 billion, hello, goes MIA, somebody's got to look into it.
Yeah.
And when you also recognize that 81% of Somalis who've been here a while now are still all on government relief, you have to say to yourself, look, you don't have to assimilate to the point that you lose yourself, you lose your culture, you lose your family. Of course not. But at the end of the day, as Teddy Roosevelt said, if we default to hyphenated America, then we're not America. There's got to be some sort of a Venn diagram that overlaps where the center can hold. It doesn't matter what you are, Somali, Italian, Irish, German, whatever. There's got to be some common Americanness where you say, you know what, I want to be part of what is the greatest experiment in human governance in history, and that has lifted the most human beings out of misery than any place else ever on this planet. And if you are embarrassed about that, and somehow or other Western civilization is so offensive to you, then apparently you vote for Zoran Mamdani.
Loftus, you would just probably drop your kid off at that daycare anyway, huh?
That was my plan. I want to find the daycare that's got 99 kids in them, but there's no footprints in the snow in Minnesota. It's like they just float in there. This whole thing, it was the best scam going for a lot of years, right? You just go, listen, we're trying to feed kids. We're trying to provide health care. This is soup for kittens. And then the government would just throw you mountains and mountains of money, and you never had to do anything. So that's why I'm loving every single moment of this Nick Shirley going around, knocking on doors, people freaking out. Hold him accountable. And Tim Walz, he's got some explaining to do. He's gonna do the shorthand wave from the back. It's breaking my heart to see all this money leave Minnesota. I can't do the happy leg kicks. Oh. It's like in Goodfellas when De Niro told everybody not to buy something.
And everybody bought a Cadillac.
I told you not to do the scam anymore. You were supposed to stop feeding the kids. Oh, Kamala's going to be upset.
All that money, and you think they would have invested in someone to check the spelling on the sign.
Right? I'd like to buy an N.
It's like not only was it such a ridiculous, it wasn't that good of a scam. No, it was like the kids leer. What is a leering center, Mackie? Is it where they just do nonstop productions of King Lear?
I wish there was a such thing as leering centers. I've been having to learn how to leer by trial and error all these years, and it turns out women never believed that I was just looking because I thought there was a spider on their breasts and their butt. But I'm glad you mentioned like the baseless accusations of racism. They don't work on me at all. If I listened to that, I wouldn't be able to put on my purple suit and go breakdancing every weekend. But this is a fascinating story because it brings together two major issues: government corruption and a media that really doesn't do its investigative job anymore. And that's because the incentives are to be corrupt. You get rich like Ilhan Omar, and I think that it should be more like a private business. If they're caught being corrupt and not educating all these children that they're supposed to educate, then they should go out of business and the people should lose their jobs. And then maybe politicians would have to depend on those programs that are fake this whole time. And maybe that's the only way we would get them to work.
Yeah. No, that's a great point, Tyrus, because it's a lot of these politicians, I just get the vibe that they're a little more angry that this got uncovered than the fact that this happened. Because why? Because it's our money, it's taxpayer money, it's their constituents' money, it doesn't affect their money. They should be, I think, at least pretending a little harder to be pissed off about this.
Well, I believe the term now is complacent.
Yeah.
They were complacent. So I'm just going to play by their rules of what we've seen over the last 4.5 years is where they take a word that means one thing and they made it to a different meaning. So complacent now means corrupt. Because there's no way. Tampon Tim said that he has been fighting fraud for years. Years on top of this. Was you that said skateboarding and the spliff? Solved that in the afternoon. Like, you've been doing it for years. He went to one building and said, leering, this ain't right. So is he that dumb? No. And it's been going on in Minnesota for a long time. I think the floodgates opened with George Floyd when everyone realized that all you had to do was walk up to a white person and say, you're racist, and white America bent the knee. Oh, we're sorry. We're oppressors. Not all white Americans bent the knee. My wife did not. She's like, that. I didn't do it, and I'm not going to get out of my yard. But the general consensus was, oh, audience, don't clap too loud because y'all been scared to laugh at a black joke for like 3 years now. I'm putting it out there because white America decided to go, oh, no, you don't want to be called that. And they took advantage. That's not $9 million, $9 billion. You understand? That is so much money. I bet if we went over to Somalia, everyone's riding around on roller coasters and stuff right now. They have all the best iPads and stuff and private jets and whatnot. And because of we were basically they're laundering money from Minnesota to Somalia, and everyone got a taste. Everybody got a taste. So to sit around and if you say anything about it, you're racist. And if you say anything about it, you're Islamophobic. I will be all those things. I will be the most racist, Islamophobic, because you know what I am first? I'm a moneyist. I want to know where my money's going. And I don't want to see, and no one has improved. That's another thing. They said 85%, is it 90% of people are still collecting welfare checks who have been there for decades. Why? Because they have no desire to work because they are part of the scheme. There's no paperwork when you don't have a job and clocking your hours. It's embarrassing at this point in this country that we continue to look to politicians and our so-called media and say, how could you let this happen? Look at everyone's bank accounts. That's all you have to do is, hey, can I see your statement? How did you earn $30 million in a year, and you were one of the most worst people to ever speak to? Because it can't be speaking engagements they're cutting checks for this woman to speak at. I mean, every time she's on TV, she looks like you cut her off in traffic. So I don't see how.
Many.
I'm just glad this fraud's only in Minnesota and not in California.
If you think this party is not happening in California, what? Yeah. You see any new houses been built since the fire? Children got to eat there too.
Oh, boy.
right.
And
Next,
it's
you'll tell me
federal
DC.
money. It's our money.
Yes,
it's not just
absolutely.
theirs. Minnesota, you owe us money.
Yes.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.